Welcome back, viewers. Dave Epstein here from the Post-Pollock firm. Today we have, what do we call it? A juvenile prankster, although it's not quite the classic prank videos that we're used to. This is an 11-year-old who ends up getting arrested for a felony. Let's start this.
Text message from someone saying they were behind a car. Their friend was kidnapped from a Chick-fil-A in Palm Coast, and they were on the interstate behind the car.
Everything on your phone is telling me that you made a phone call 911.
But I didn't talk.
Because you did something stupid.
I'm not going to the car!
Here, Amanda. Here, stop. Hey. Stop.
On July 26, 2023, dispatchers in Volusia County receive urgent 911 texts from a driver who claims to be following an armed kidnapper's van on the interstate. When they trace the phone, however, they learn the messages are coming from a residence in Port Orange, turning a plea for help into an unexpected lesson in consequences.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old, that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
I'm not going to do this again.
The following report is based on official police records, and the footage has mostly never been seen before until now. It's just after 9:45 a.m. when 911 begins receiving texts from someone named Lily Lee Combs. She claims to be following a kidnapper's van on the interstate, and updates are still pouring in. Volusia County deputies, multiple area police departments, and a helicopter join the urgent search. When they fail to locate the van, a deputy tries calling the phone number that's been sending the text messages.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Is this the... What's your name? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm trying to reach the person that called 911.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, shit, I'm up.
Please leave your message for 3.
Oh, it's going to voicemail. It says, RP confirming they are in a blue Jeep. Victim is in a white van. They can see they are being restrained through the windows. At the turnaround?
A new text message comes through, including a detailed description of the suspect, who's described as having brown hair and blue eyes.
How is she behind him? She's seeing this happen and she knows what color eyes he has. That's weird. Brown hair and blue eyes, but she's behind him. Like,
If she was saw the incident or saw witnessed the kidnapping, or how would you even be following them and know any of this?
yeah, RP confirming they are in a blue Jeep, victim in a white van. Of course it's a white van. Like, it just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm not saying this by any means, but it's just,
Yeah.
I've had calls like this before.
Their suspicions about the text messages are all but confirmed when a GPS trace on the phone comes back to a residence in Port Orange, indicating the texter is not...
Okay, folks, right there. When you make a call that talks about a kidnapped victim and an active kidnapping, I think the only thing that can draw a quicker response is to call in and say, shots fired, officer down. Short of that, this is right up there with, this is going to get the police on high alert. They're going to be racing around. They're going to be stopping cars. As they say, they'll be kicking down doors and asking questions, which is what they should be doing. And you set that in motion. Now, we'll talk about who did this in a moment. Let's see a little more.
traveling on the highway as they claim. Deputies quickly head to the residence to investigate.
Hi there, how you doing? Is this your residence, sir?
This is.
Do you have a daughter or a child at the home named by Lily Lee?
No.
No?
Anybody home?
Yeah, my wife, my kid. We just got home from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I have an Ava and a Mikey.
Ava and a Mikey?
Yep.
One Delta 5.
Would you like to see them?
The deputies follow him to his house, where he informs his wife what's going on.
There was a 911 call?
Yeah, so somebody called in, or well, they texted.
Sorry, I'm in my pajamas.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Someone texted into 911 that someone was getting kidnapped and they were on the interstate, but then when they went and did like a location on the phone, the address was showing up here.
As their daughter Ava steps into the garage, her phone rings. The deputy answers it, leading to a shocking conclusion.
Hello? Hold on. Who's this?
Volusia County Sheriff's Office.
All right, cool. This is Deputy Asby, the Sheriff's Office.
Oh, good. You got her.
Yep. All right.
Oh, okay. Is her dad home?
Yep. I got both her parents here.
Yeah, we're going to ask the sheriff to go away in a second.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
What happened? I'm so.
Let me see this phone.
Yeah. So all these other numbers. So there's a phone call out to 911.
There's a phone call out to
Yeah.
that one? What time?
That's
There's
her
one
call.
right
That's
here.
her calling it.
There's 911 again right there.
This phone was called.
These numbers calling back in are no caller ID.
You did.
Well, there's 3 different times of 911 was called out from this phone.
9:30 a.m.
Yep.
That was the initial call.
Twice.
But I didn't mean to call that because I. But you did.
Reports show that the number belonging to Ava dialed 911 at 9:30. When asked where the emergency is, a female identified as possibly a juvenile responded, "I'm sorry, I dialed the wrong number."
Okay, folks, whether you call it a prank or a crime, this was not very well thought out or planned. I mean, she might as well have just said, "Why don't you arrest me?" But let's give her a break. She's 11. Yet at the same time, right off the bat, and this harkens back to what I've talked about previously, where did she come up with this idea? What made a kid 11 years old decide to call in with a prank call about a kidnapping and so on and so forth? I mean, it doesn't even look like there were other kids involved. She just did this. Anyway, let's hear what happens.
The same phone number would later begin texting 911 to report the kidnapping.
When did. I'm just so confused. I'm sorry. When did you got a message about an interstate?
So there was a text message from someone saying they were behind a car.
Could I call this
Who
back?
was kidnapped.
That's
Their friend was kidnapped from a Chick-fil-A in Palm Coast, and they were on the interstate behind the car.
What time is this? Today?
This is this is today. This
Oh,
is
we
actively
got
going on
home at
right now.
2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So we were here the whole time since 2:30. We were on the interstate coming home from
everything's showing that
Pennsylvania.
Right.
you called
We
out.
we showed up here like 2:10, 2:15
Okay.
And we went to
but,
bed.
But these 911 calls
for this
count.
morning. You were calling 911? You were. Don't look surprised. You did. You
Did
put
you?
it on your phone.
Did they say anything to you? No one said.
Okay, just to interject. Parents, Mom, I know you got surprised. You're in your pajamas. Police show up. Dad's out on the drive-on lawnmower, whatever he was doing. Here are the cops. What's going on? Yeah, I have kids. I don't have whatever she said her name was, Lily Lee or whatever it is. And you're ticked off. You're pissed that your daughter did this. However, you're not helping any, and I've told parents this in the past. You don't immediately hop on the side of the police, even though you know you have to take corrective action. I would refrain from taking that corrective action and interrogating your child while the police are standing there, because all of this can become evidence. They're investigating something now. Now, granted, she's an 11-year-old girl, but I don't know. They charge kids with adult crimes all the time. So don't automatically start, drawing out from your kid all the elements of the offense so that they can more easily convict her. Nothing against the police. The police are doing their job too. But you're not helping your kid any. Just let the police do what they're going to do. And if you think the child needs a lawyer, say, hey, does she need a lawyer? And go from there. That's probably when they will step in and say, we'll read her rights. But don't just automatically start volunteering your own interrogation services.
Anything to you?
Did you say, Ava, you have to explain what happened here. Something's going on. What did you know? What do you know?
Mikey, go inside. Ava, get your shoes on. Come out here.
I didn't hit anything. Want me to close the door? You're not in trouble. I just need to know what happened. I need to know and understand because this is like weird.
Because we got to make sure that there's not somebody that's being kidnapped on the interstate and we're trying to find them. And
Open your mouth if you said something on the phone.
I didn't say anything.
Everything on your phone is telling me that you made a phone call 911.
But I didn't talk.
While one deputy heads to her cruiser, she greets officers from the Port Orange Police Department who have just arrived at the scene.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, I was just trying to make heads and tails of that damn call. There's
Where's-
so many notes in it, my God.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. We're with the parents and the daughter, and I guess
Okay.
the daughter did have. We pulled up the call log, and she did call 911.
So the whole armed kidnapping thing and all that stuff is bogus, or?
There was no text evidence when we looked through it, so I don't know if she deleted it real quick or if it's like through
Okay.
through an app. Yeah, it seems it's probably just a swatting thing. She's like 10 years old. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
While Ava's parents demand an explanation,
Folks, this harkens back to some of the things we've discussed in the past in this crazy business of pranking and this and that. But what you saw when you saw the police in the car earlier, and already they were somewhat skeptical, it shows you the place that we've arrived at least we seem to have arrived at, where even the police now have to wonder when they get out for an emergency call whether it is an emergency or maybe it's not. Now, the circumstances here were pretty suspicious and a little hokey, and I don't fault the police officers, but they have to go out and treat every call as deadly serious. And that's why, you have these crazy situations with what they call swatting, where they'll call police and say there's a hostage situation at a house and the SWAT team shows up, and people can and have been hurt in these situations. Things that people think it's funny to send a SWAT team to somebody's house. But this is the state of affairs where apparently it's become so commonplace that right off the bat, the police officers are trying to figure out if it's a fake prank or whether it's real. That's a sad statement.
deputies prepare to Mirandize the 11-year-old, who has yet to fully grasp the gravity of the situation.
You just lied to the police and mommy and daddy. You just lied to everybody.
You have 3 showers.
Again, don't interrogate.
Tell them what you just said to us.
Open your mouth. I'm telling you, open your mouth.
She's going to read you something, and then we're going to ask you some questions. What's your name? Ava. How old are you, Ava?
All right, Miss Ava, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and to have the lawyer present during any questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before my questioning if you wish.
We're reading her rights.
Because you did something stupid.
Right.
Let me explain something here, okay? You can cry about this. What you've done here is a felony, okay? It's a felony crime, and you probably had 20 law enforcement officers at least, a helicopter, and all running with lights and siren on high speed to try to apprehend or try to stop a serious forcible felony from happening. Do you know what happens if one of those officers crashes and gets killed on the way to responding to something that you did as a joke? So you better take this serious.
Under pressure from both her father.
Let me answer that question since they didn't answer it. It could be a homicide. Now, this is a child, and I'll discuss this in a moment. And obviously, this is a very young child. I don't know if she had an idea of just how serious the consequences would be, not only, the potential dangerous consequences, but also the criminal consequences of what she did. But again, the parents now see their daughter being read her rights, which the police were right to do at that point. They didn't have to at first. They were just coming in saying, this is what we got, here's what's... And the father did most of the interrogation. He's still doing it, cursing at her, doing this and that. Just be quiet, parents. Let the police do their job. And if you need to step in and say, I think she wants to have a lawyer, you are, in most states, allowed to do that because you are the parent. There are special rules when it comes to interrogating and setting up to charge a juvenile. In New Jersey, I know you're supposed to have a parent present during questioning. If the parent wants to stop and get the child a lawyer at some point, you need to stop and get the child a lawyer. You can't question because, frankly, an 11-year-old, they might as well read her rights to her pet iguana. I mean, she's not going to know her rights. Most adults don't. They hear it on police shows, but they never really take it to heart and listen. Yeah, you have the right to remain silent. That means shut up now. But a child is not going to know that. Now, again, the officers are doing what they're supposed to do, and they have the parents there. But once again, coming back with dad interrogating her, thinking, okay, I'll straighten this out. That's always we'll go down to the police station, we'll straighten all this out. What you're doing is going down and making sure that your child gets charged. And well, let's see what they do with this child.
And the deputy, Ava, offers an excuse for her actions. which doesn't sit well with the deputy.
Ava, you need to tell the exact truth. I don't want a story. I don't care what it is. I want the exact truth.
You can't make this go away by being quiet. The only thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to end up in a pair of handcuffs going to our juvenile facility. I'm not going to mince any words with you. That's a very distinct possibility of what can happen here today. Don't look at your mother. She didn't have any part in this. This was all you.
Yesterday, I beat my brother. Said something about my brother. Just made me pop in the head. And then I ended up doing it today and doing all this. Everything.
Was he part of planning this with you?
No, he just said it. And then
What did he say?
he said, let's 911.
This is your brother?
Yeah, he said it this way.
You wanna get him?
Let's dial 911.
Well, we can, when we're done, will you go wait a minute?
And then I said, no, we can't. I have an idea this morning. And then I just,
So you're trying to blame this on your brother?
you could ask him.
Was he with you when you made this call?
No.
Okay, was he with you when you made these texts?
No.
Okay, then you did this. You were on your own for this. And if your brother's 7 years old, you're not going to blame your 7-year-old brother for this. This was all your decision.
Another thing this child needs to learn, since, first of all, when she said her brother, I thought, oh, maybe an older brother, but it's a 7-year-old brother. But the other thing she should learn is don't rat out your friends. Snitches get stitches. But I shouldn't say that. But, of course, she did immediately start to rat out her brother. And then, as the announcer said, didn't sit well with the police that her 7-year-old brother was the one who set the whole thing up, the mastermind of this brilliant plan. Let's see some more.
Okay.
To call 911 to do what? What did he say to call 911?
Just call 911. You could ask him.
So can I ask?
What if
was
he told you to
something
go up on the roof and
YouTube
jump
that you
off the
saw?
roof? Would you do that? So what's the difference?
Deputies will soon discover the startling truth behind Ava's fabricated story. For now, Ava's mother raises concerns about recent questionable activity on Ava's phone, but it does little to impact the situation.
You know?
So I have something really weird with that phone. When we first got that, the phone kept ringing non-stop, ringing in to me. And I was picking it up and there was like people talking and like, I'm like, hello, and like non-stop, like, I mean, every 4 seconds there was a call coming in with random numbers and I didn't know them. And I was saying, block contact. Like, as soon as we got that phone number,
Okay,
everyone's
well,
like this.
that has nothing to do with what went on today.
Questions about her intentions lead to a harsh reality check from the deputy, who forces Ava to consider the possible consequences of the false report.
What were you planning on happening out of this? Well, what did you think was going to happen when you said somebody was kidnapped and somebody had a gun? What did you think was going to happen? Well, did you have any thoughts about how much of the law enforcement resources in this area you were going to take up by doing that? I probably never thought of that, right? Did you think of the men and women that have families at home that are driving 90 or 100 miles an hour with their lights and siren on, trying to save somebody who's a victim of an armed kidnapping, that they could be involved in a traffic crash and be seriously injured or killed because you wanted to make a joke? Does that seem funny to you? Would that be funny if that happened? Because I can tell you that would be even more serious than what you're looking at right now.
You physically see your father walk up to sheriffs, military, everybody, thank you for your service. And then you do like this?
Though it wasn't captured on camera, reports state that Ava admitted to getting the idea to prank 911 from a YouTube challenge, and a deputy attempts to get more details.
Where was this?
Aha! So there we have it. A YouTube challenge, which maybe that's not true, but I tend to believe it. Because that's what's going on, folks. The kids watch this garbage, all these crappy YouTube videos of people doing rotten things, and they get ideas. Now, the police officer was questioning her about the potential consequences, as was her father. I'm hoping I haven't seen this video previously, but I'm hoping what they're doing is sort of giving her a life lesson, and they're not going to cream her in this case because she's an 11-year-old. And granted, at 11, you kind of already know right from wrong, but this isn't like she went out and shot somebody. Could have resulted in a horrific accident or something worse. Maybe they think they have the car cornered and the gunfire erupts accidentally and somebody gets killed that way. So, but let's see what happens from here. Let's see what they do with her.
Video that you saw, where was it? On YouTube? Do you remember who the creator was or who the poster was, what it was about? What do you mean by all of this? This as in what? So it was a video about the Palm Coast Chick-fil-A. That's it. That's all the video was about? Gotcha. So, yep. So you saw a video that somebody made about how fun it would be to call 911 or text 911 and say somebody's got a gun, somebody's trying to get hurt. You thought it'd be fun to recreate that. Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
However, Ava is about to realize an apology won't be enough to escape the consequences. Meanwhile,
so there, folks, you have my biggest beef come to life, and that is that these prankster videos that have become wildly popular, particularly among young kids, end up with some of these young kids, or let's just say others, trying to recreate or follow it as some sort of master plan for life. I don't know what they're thinking. And I doubt there are children watching this video. Yeah, they don't care what a lawyer says, not until they get arrested, and then they care what a lawyer says. Oh, believe me, once they get arrested, once these pranks go out of hand and they get into trouble, all of a sudden they care about what their lawyer might say and their parents. But it goes out more to the parents. Really watch what your kids are watching on their iPhones, on their iPads, on their laptops. There are ways you can control that. And I know they're going to stomp and scream and say, "Oh, Mom, none of my friends have that in place. There are no parental controls in place. Why me? What did I do so bad?" You know what? Just find out what your kid is watching, because this is a good example. I believe these parents. I don't think they really knew what their kid was watching or where she came up with this. The father looks like he's ready to give her a spanking, but it's disturbing. Anyway, let's see where this goes.
Deputy reveals that he was able to reach Ava by phone just before their arrival and got a less than friendly response from the young girl.
27 minutes, she lied to the dispatcher or the call taker over text, and then when I caught her up, she told me to F myself and stop responding.
Cut her up?
Like, got her caught up. Like, hey, you know what's up? The jig's up.
That's when she started deleting more text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take back everything I said. She's a hardened criminal. When the police call her, she tells them to go F themselves. I wonder if the YouTube guy or people taught her to do that too. Oh, what a start in life.
Based on Ava's statements, deputies decide there's enough probable cause to arrest Ava and prepare to take the 11-year-old into custody.
Here, Amanda. Here, stop. Hey. Stop.
She can't sit in a dentist's office, so that's why I'm saying.
Deep breath.
Listen carefully. Don't make this.
She's gonna come out. No, she'll be out there. She is going to hurt herself right now.
She's not going to. Don't prevent her. So stop. Listen to me. What's your Ava? Ava. Stop struggling, okay? They're not going to hurt you. Yeah, they're not going to hurt you. Listen carefully what's going to happen here. No one's going to hurt you. You're going to sit in the car for now, okay? If you go somewhere, what it's going to involve is taking pictures, taking fingerprints, and then they're going to call your parents to come and get you. So don't make the situation any worse. They'll be up shortly after that.
Go in the car?
No, you can't go in the car.
You can cuff me if you have to.
It just can't happen.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old, that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
I'm not going to do this again.
Ava is placed into the back of the police car, where her father delivers a few hard truths.
I'm just warning you, you're not going to sit for a couple hours. They're going to be bringing...
Hey, Dad, nothing for nothing. But after your masterful interrogation of the kid, you say she'll end up in cuffs in the future. No, this is now. She's being charged. And they're telling her it's a felony. Now, I don't know how this turns out. Well, maybe we'll find out in a minute, or maybe we won't. But there's a lot of discretion out there with prosecutors, judges, etc., on how you charge a juvenile, whether you treat them as an adult, what sort of sentencing you undertake, even if it's treated as a juvenile case. So she may already be in that world of, they said they're going to fingerprint her, they're going to take her picture, they're going to process her. She'll have a rap sheet, a juvenile rap sheet. Now, you can expunge those, but let's see what happens.
Into a building, fingerprinting you, doing all sorts of stupid for your stupid. Your life just changed, kid. Over a phone call, your life just changed.
Minutes later, the reality of the situation continues to have an emotional impact on her parents.
This is the best punishment for her right now. Sucks for us, but this is the best thing for her because she doesn't get it.
It sucks for us. I worked my off with you to keep this kid doing stuff normal like we did as kids, and this is the she does.
According to a statement from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, 11-year-old Ava was charged with making a false police report concerning the use of a firearm in a violent manner, a felony, and misuse of 911, a misdemeanor. After being processed at the Family Resource Center, she was later transferred to the Volusia Regional Juvenile Detention Center in Daytona Beach, Florida, an experience she is unlikely to forget. We requested more information about her case from the Volusia County Juvenile Court, and they said nothing is releasable.
Well, folks, there you have it. So we have this kid. Actually, you know what? All the YouTubers, or actually all of their audiences, should be forced to watch this video to see where this goes. I mean, I guess there are a lot of lessons to be learned in this. As I said, the parents shouldn't be so eager to help the police convict your daughter. I think the parents thought that this was some sort of interactive process where they join the police and saying, you're a bad kid and everything, and then they let her go. But when they start reading her rights, you kind of got the tip off that this is not going to be your standard, next time we catch you. No, this is this time we catch you. And they charged her with a felony. What happens in a juvenile case? Well, every juvenile case, unless it is made to be an adult case, meaning you're standing trial as an adult, that is a decision made by a trial judge. It has to be asked for by a prosecutor, and it's not easy. I mean, it's in some states it seems to be easier than others. I wouldn't even venture to guess how it would turn out in a variety of states, but they can charge you as an adult. Something like this, probably not. She didn't help her cause any because the prank was rather detailed, and she persisted at it. It did not help that when the police finally called her, she told the police officer to go F himself. I always tell you, don't be disrespectful to the police. In this case, they won't tell you what happened. It's juvenile records, and they do end up being sealed. But there was some consequence. She ended up in juvenile detention center, or as we call it, juvie. And let me tell you something. Some of these juvie facilities, depending on where you live, what county you're in, what region you're in, that can be like little kids, big kids jail. And you can end up in there while your case is pending for trial. Maybe you're allowed out on bond. Who knows? But when you're charged with a felony, even though it's being treated as a juvenile delinquency, they will take into account how serious the felony was. So this kid could be facing juvie jail time for doing what she did. And if it's true that she got this idea from YouTuber, her 7-year-old brother, who knows, it's a stark lesson in where these stupid pranksters are taking society, including what I think is their target or largest audience, and that's 11-year-old Avas out there who are going to do the same stupid things they do without any understanding of the consequences, not only to them, but to all the police officers, everybody who's involved. I couldn't agree more with the police officer who's describing all the things that could happen. And I thought they did this by the book. I mean, you know, when I said the parents shouldn't be helping them convict her, but they read her rights at the right time. They did everything they could. But if you're charged as a juvenile, if you do these things when you're an adult, it's jail time. But even as a juvenile, it's still jail time. Not adult jail, but juvenile jail is no fun. You leave school, you leave your friends, leave everything, and you go to a juvenile jail with other kids, some of whom are already carrying a rap sheet of many crimes. So I shouldn't say crime doesn't pay. Maybe I should say YouTube pranksters don't pay, because this is where it lands you. I hope you learned something from this, folks. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you click like, and I hope you subscribe. And please leave your comments. Love to hear from you. This is Dave Epstein signing off. See you next time. Bye-bye from Post Polish.